YTBC, what's the deal? So congratulations to Lucas Browne for winning the title, the regular WBA title against Ruslan Chagayev. Credit to him from getting off the mat in the 6th round. He went down hard, and it looked like Chagayev was on his way to stopping that fight, especially towards the very end of that round. So, credit to Browne for that. I had him losing the fight going into the 10th. I had him down 6 rounds to 3, and I gave Chagayev 10-8 round for that 6th round. All right. Browne's power saved the day. It came through for him. He proved that, he does have massive punching power, and it showed. He was able to stop Ruslan Chagayev. So the next match that is set for the WBA tournament is Lucas Browne defending that regular WBA title against Oquendo. Now, this is going to be an interesting fight. Oquendo is 42 years old. He's been in there with quite a few guys. His career has, he started what, 1997. So he's around since the late 90s. He's been in there with Chris Bird and John Ruiz and Holyfield and James Toney, John Mormek, Chagayev, a few other guys I'm probably forgetting. But one thing that he's shown is, even as he's got older, even the Chagayev fight. Now, this fight was 2 years ago, and it was a close fight. I thought he started off really slow, and then the second half of the fight, Oquendo picked up the pace a little bit, but it was just too late, and not enough in that fight. This isn't the same Oquendo that I seen, 11, 12, 13 years ago. He doesn't move on his feet as well as he used to. He's not as springy on his legs. He's not as active and as he used to be. Now, now when he goes backwards is much slower, and that really it really hampers him a little bit, because he was at his best to me when he was able to use his feet and be quick on his feet and use his counter punching and his little awkward style that he has. It's so awkward trying to time him, man. He'll jump in with a right hand and then hold you, and then while he's holding you, he'll spin around you, and it's just, I don't know, he just has a weird, awkward style to deal with. He'll fight you from the outside, then jump in with combinations, and like I said, hold you and then jump back out, then circle back around to his left. Just real awkward. You may cause like a headbutt or a head clash the way he fights. Sometimes he'll jump in head first. Not that he uses his head, but for offense or anything. It's just his style, man. Just the way he places his hands, and he'll have his hands down a little bit. Likes to throw, fast combination punches. But he's not active enough, and I think his advanced stage against Lucas Browne is going to be his downfall. Like I said, in the Chagayev fight, he picked up the pace later on in the fight. But the thing is, when he picks up the pace, that means he's going to sit down and try to trade and let his punches go. That's going to work right into Lucas Browne's plans. Browne did show in the fight with Chagayev that he can move on his feet, and he can use his own jab. He really surprised me in that fight, and I thought he came in a fight in good shape. Some people were leaving comments on my post-fight video of Browne and Chagayev saying that they thought that I was out of my mind, because I thought, Browne coming in at 249 was a decent weight for him. And I said that because his previous fights, he's been coming in at, 255, 263, 273, 262, 267. I mean, he's been coming in really heavy. So for him to get down, just to even get into the 240s, was pretty decent for him. Now me, I'll like him to lose another 5 pounds, but 249 looked pretty decent in my opinion. And he's 6'5". It's not like he's 6 feet tall trying to carry 249 pounds. He is 6'5". He gets a lot of leverage on that right hand. He can put you to sleep, man, even if he doesn't get that much leverage, because that punch he hit Chagayev with, it wasn't like he had his whole body into that punch that put him down. So that lets you know that Lucas Browne just has heavy hands, and he has the MMA background. I'm gonna go with Lucas Browne in this fight. I think him holding this world title, although it's the regular title, but him holding it, he's gonna fight with pride. I think he wants to hold on to the title. So I think he'll come into his next fight with Oquendo in shape. Now they have this fight in the WBA tournament set for June. I'm sure Browne and his people will want the fight in Australia. It'll be a big event, and he deserves it. You know, he earned it. He earned it. You know, so, and both these guys, ironically, both fought Chigaev in their last fights. You know, Browne just knocked him out and beat him, and Oquendo fought Chigaev to a decision. He lost. It was a majority decision win. I believe it was a more majority decision win for Chigaev, but it was a close fight. Like I said, the first, you know, 5-6 rounds, Chigaev came out being aggressive, throwing combinations, and Oquendo just chose to fight on his back foot a little bit, throw jabs. He was holding. He's fighting his Oquendo fight. You know what I mean? It's effective for him. But it's just not the Oquendo that I've seen, like I seen against Holyfield, and even some of the fights he lost. Is just not that same fast, slick guy. He's much slower in his pace when he fights. He can be hurt by right hands, and that's the punch I think that Browne's going to hurt him with. Even when Holyfield put him down, I believe it was the first or second round. I believe it was the first round Holyfield put Oquendo. I can't remember. I believe it was the first round, but Oquendo got up in that fight. The punch that got him hurt against Tua was a right hand that started it, and then Tua just started teeing off. That's the only fight I really seen Oquendo really. I know he has 2 stoppage losses, but that Ruiz stoppage was very questionable. But I believe it was a right hand in that fight that started the trouble for Oquendo. But the Tua fight, the punch that started it was that right hand. Then he started getting hit with left hooks, so on and so forth. That fight, even though he got stopped on his feet, he was out of it. Because even after when the ref pulled Tua away, Oquendo was walking. He looked like he was going to fall over. You know what I mean? So the only stoppage loss, you know, I say was that fight. The Ruiz fight is counted as a stoppage, but he could have continued in that fight, in my opinion. And it was a close fight. You know, so I expected Oquendo to give Lucas Browne the first 4 or 5 rounds to be even, or maybe Oquendo may still a round or 2. And then I think as soon as he tries to pick up the steam or pick up the pace, he's going to fight right into Lucas Browne's wheelhouse, and he's going to get caught with a right hand. Oquendo, I don't think he's going to try to walk Lucas Browne down. Even if he did do that, Browne showed that he can fight off his back foot pretty decent. He did against Chigaev. Now, you can argue that Chigaev doesn't have, you know, the reach, so Browne was safe from a distance, but we know Chigaev is very accurate, very sharp with his punches and his punch selection, and he's busy, you know, so... You know, and if Oquendo, if he chooses to fight on his back foot, which I know he's going to, I just think Lucas Browne's going to walk him down, and one of those right hands is going to land. Plus, I don't think just fighting off his back foot, trying to throw a jab or 2, and maybe a combination here and there is going to do enough to win this fight. I'm sure the fight would be in Australia, but even if it's not in Australia, I don't care where it is, even if it's here in America, that's just not enough to win the fight. Especially not hurting a guy or jabbing him effectively enough. Oquendo just, sometimes he gets in situations where he just does it enough to just disrupt the other fighter, but he has to, you know, is going to have to sit down these punches and make them count. So I think Lucas Browne just going to walk him down, man. He's going to have to get Lucas Browne's respect in this fight. But Oquendo's 42 years old. He's never been a huge power puncher, man. His best power punching days, in my opinion, was when he first started his career, when he was an undefeated prospect, when he went into that David Tua fight. Was it Clifford 18? I seen him beat down. He beat down Clifford 18 pretty good. But I'm going to go with Lucas Browne in this fight, and I'm going to pick him to advance to the WBA finals, where he would take on either Luis Ortiz, Alexander Ustinov, Tyson Fury, or Vladimir Klitschko. So I'm going to pick Browne to win this side of the tournament. I expect him to go in here, and I'm going to pick him to knock out, be the first person to knock Oquendo out, like a clean knockout. Not on his feet. I think he's going to cleanly knock Oquendo out. Probably, I'm going to go, final prediction, I'm going to say 8th or 9th round, that he's going to cleanly knock Oquendo out. I think he'll just get hit with too many right hands. I think he'll start to tire a little bit, and if he doesn't tire, he'll try to pick up the pace, and I think he'll get caught with something. But I think Oquendo's going to make it very interesting. His style, you know, he can sully your offense sometimes, man. He just can with just his style. But I think Browne has the power. He did get off the canvas in the last fight. Oquendo will be confident going into this fight, being that he didn't touch the canvas against Chigaev, and he thought he beat Chigaev. You know, you can probably say it's a style matchup situation, which I think that has something to do with it. But at the same time, Oquendo's been around. He's going to be confident. He's going to look at what he did against Chigaev. Although Browne knocked him out, Browne was struggling before he got the knockout. And Oquendo, was a close fight. throughout the 12 rounds of him and Chigaev. But style matchup, I'm a favorite Browne in this fight by knockout. YTBC, I'm out.